Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Letha Pugh, and I am co-owner of Bake Me Happy here in Marion Village. I'm excited to host you all today to discuss this important issue in our community, and I'm grateful to be a part of the solution. Black women's equal pay day matters to me for obvious reasons, and closing the gender race-based pay gap would mean that Black women in households that are headed by Black women would have more money to invest in their futures and spend more on basic necessities. If you translated this into real numbers, if you made up the pay gap over one year, it would increase Black women's pay enough to afford an additional 150 weeks of groceries, 22 months of rent payments, and 3 weeks of tuition. So it is my pleasure to now introduce Columbus Women's Commissioner, Barb Smoot.
Thank you for the introduction, Ms. Letha, for your support of this work and for hosting us here today. Those cookies are looking real good back there. My name is Barb Smoot, and I'm President and CEO of WELD, Women for Economic and Leadership Development. And I also co-chair the Pay Equity Committee on the Columbus Women's Commission. I am so excited to be here with all of you today to bring awareness to this critically important cause. With the Columbus Women's Commission's focus on improving women's economic lives, one of the policy areas that rose to the top of the Commission's radar early on was gender and race-based pay equity. Our Pay Equity Committee learned that women in Columbus earn just 78 cents for every dollar earned by a man. And I hate to tell you, but that statistic is below the national statistic of 80 cents on the dollar. For women of color, the disparities are even worse, and that's why we are all here today. We knew something had to be done in order to make bold change in this community on this issue. After researching and learning about this issue, the Columbus Women's Commission officially launched the Columbus Commitment, Achieving Pay Equity, in the fall of 2017. The Columbus Commitment is a voluntary, employer-led pledge to address the gender and race-based wage gap. The commitment asks employers to learn about the gender pay gap, understand how race and other factors create even larger disparities, analyze and review internal policies, and take action to build awareness around the unique challenges facing women in the workplace. The commitment goes well beyond just the numbers and equal pay for equal work, which are all still vitally important, but is also about where women are in the company and ensuring the opportunity to succeed. I am so pleased to be here today with 14 organizations who are ready and willing to step up and tackle this complex issue. I am also so pleased to have the full support and encouragement in this work of our mayor. So it is my pleasure to introduce Mayor Andrew J. Ginther.
Good afternoon. It is great to be back here in Marion Village. I was just telling some stories with Christy up here. Our first home, actually it was a condo on Hanford Street. And this is a great neighborhood. And as Curtis reminded me on the way in the door, the south side is the best side. That is, at least until I go to the east side later and the north side after that. But Columbus is about great neighborhoods, and so I'm thrilled to be here. Letha, thank you for hosting us and for having us here today. This great bakery and incredible startup that has just continued to grow and thrive in this community, and I think folks realize how committed we are as a community to startups that we can kind of co-own, that we can shop local and support local, especially when there's dynamic leadership and partnership at the top. And to all the leaders that are here today that are going to be part of this Columbus Commitment signing ceremony, Signing day means something else with the NCAA and big-time college athletics, but this is going to be the most impactful signing day that we've seen in Columbus in a long time, and we're grateful for your leadership, your vision, and commitment. Let's give it up for all of our signers. I also want to thank all the members of the Columbus Women's Commission. I am filling in for the chair of that commission today, and grateful for all of their service, and particularly the Pay Equity Committee, as Barb mentioned earlier, who have really helped to lead and shape this. We are here, as Letha mentioned, to recognize and uplift Black Women's Equal Pay Day, which officially occurs tomorrow on August 7th. The date represents the amount of time Black women must work into the following year to earn what a man earned the previous year. Think about the absurdity of that. Tomorrow, August 7th, will be the day in which an African American woman is able to earn what a man earned last year. 7 months of labor, of hard work, of playing by the rules, just to recognize equity. That's not acceptable in our community. We have a different story to tell. And it is our goal, if every family in every neighborhood is going to share in our success, if we're going to really become America's opportunity city, we must first become America's equal opportunity city. And pay equity is such an important part of that. Not only are Black women having to work longer to catch up, the effects compound over time. With Black women earning just 63 cents on the dollar, they stand to lose on average $840,000 in wages over a 40-year career. Just think about what $840,000 would mean to a woman in her family. That's $21,000 more each year. More dollars for stable housing and rent, childcare, food, transportation. So even if it isn't moral imperative and the right thing to do, think about the lost buying power for our economy because of pay inequity. How many more great companies like this could continue to grow and flourish and thrive here in Columbus if we realized pay equity and that buying power? Sometimes the money is to simply care for the woman herself, more dollars to pay for those professional headshots to help her career, new clothes, participating in that half marathon she's been eyeing, or a weekend getaway with friends or family. The disparities in pay for women of color are unacceptable. All women deserve not only equal pay for equal work, but to have their work, skills, and contributions valued and compensated equitably to their male peers. Addressing pay equity and the gender and race-based pay gap is what the Columbus Women's Commission is all about. How we can ensure that the work and contributions of women, especially today, women of color, are valued and compensated equitably, that women are afforded equitable opportunities for leadership and growth in employment, which corresponds to better pay and benefits. So today, I'm grateful to be here with so many partner organizations who are committed to these values and to addressing this issue. People ask me all the time when they learn about the Women's Commission around the country and in some cases around the world, how did you do this? How did you put this together? How did you get so many companies, nonprofit organizations, and institutions of higher education to voluntarily agree to step up and address pay equity? Well, those are folks that don't know much about Columbus and don't know much about our commitment to shared prosperity, because we want every family in every neighborhood to share in our success. But we also have dynamic leaders of government, higher education, nonprofits, and businesses that are raising their hand. It's now my pleasure to introduce the entities who are here ready to sign the Columbus Commitment today. Roberta Scope, ASME, Ohio Council 8. You've already met Letha of Bake Me Happy. Avery Frost, Central Ohio African American Chamber of Commerce. Crystal Causey, National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Central Ohio Chapter. Steve Fireman from ECDI. Ernest Perry, Hands On Central Ohio. Nana Watson, the NAACP. Jen Lynch, Remington Road Group. Shelley Fisher, Shelley Fisher Photography. Yanela Sims, did I get that right? Yanela Sims from SEIE Local 1. I just mentioned your name, Ernest. You better get over here and get a seat. Ernest Perry, hands on. And while the principals for Brewdog USA, SEIU Local 1199, Sophisticated Systems, and the National Council of Negro Women Columbus Section were not able to be with us here this afternoon, their representatives have brought their signed copies of the Columbus Commitment, reflected by Judge Jameson, who's there as well. Judge, thank you so much for being here and for your leadership and vision and commitment. And before we do our signing day ceremony, I want to recognize, did I see a Council Member Brown? Council Member Liz Brown is here. Council Member Jiza Page is here. Is there anybody else that I'm missing? All right. Give it up for those two council members. They've been incredible advocates and supporters of all of this work, and we wouldn't be here without the two of you leading the way as advocates and supporters of this work. So thank you. Let's sign. Now do it slowly so all those cameras get you. Big smiles. I never get to say that to other folks, so this is my chance. Generally, they're saying it to me. And maybe one more shot. Hold up your commitment after you finish signing it. But don't cover your face, right, Shelley? See, Shelley hates it when I'm giving her direction. Let's give it up for these great leaders of Thank you for your leadership, your vision, your commitment to your staff. Thanks for setting the example. That's the way we do it in Columbus. Public, private, nonprofit, working together, setting a new tone and a new expectation. We can realize pay equity. We can do this, but we have to remain committed, continue to push ourselves, and make sure that we're sharing best practices with one another. Thank you so very much. I'm going to ask Barb to come up and close us out.
On behalf of the Columbus Women's Commission, thank you, Mayor Ginther. Thank you for all that you do. There have been a number of things that you could have made a top priority, and you selected this. You selected the Columbus Women's Commission, and this is why Columbus is a great place to live and work. Thank you. Thank you to all the businesses and organizations here today to recognize Black Women's Equal Pay Day and to take action and do something about it. In the time remaining, we're going to have photo ops with the mayor and any media interviews, and I'm going for the cookies. Good day, ladies and gentlemen.